For many of you, I'm sure you've been hearing the news, you may have a little bit of financial anxiety around the economy and the pending recession. So I wanted to give you a few tips of how to prepare yourself financially. First thing I recommend doing is evaluating your spending. So chances are you have been spending a little bit more lately than you had been previously because of inflation. So it's a really good opportunity to reevaluate your budget, see if there are areas where you can trim back in order to have additional capacity to save. Second, you want to tackle your high interest rate debt. Debt has been really inexpensive with low interest rates over the past few years, but if you are carrying credit card balances, have a personal loan, or an adjustable rate HELOC on your home, those interest rates are going to start to climb, and that debt's going to continue to be more expensive. Paying that off now will accomplish two things. First, you will save money paying off this debt before the interest rates rise. And two, if you're able to eliminate the debt for good, you will have fewer monthly obligations to have to worry about into the future. Third, if your spending is in check and you have eliminated your high interest rate debt, you want to focus on your emergency fund. So keeping in mind that you want to target somewhere between 3 to 6 months worth of your essential expenses for an emergency fund. And that should be kept ideally someplace that is highly liquid and low risk. So something like a savings account that's easily accessible is going to be the best place for your emergency fund. If it's not fully funded, now's the time to top it off so you feel like you have that safety net. Even if your emergency fund is fully funded currently, it's worth going back and redoing that calculation. Chances are, if it's been a couple of years since you figured out what you need per month to sustain your expenses, that number has likely increased. So it's worth revisiting and recalculating how much you actually need and what you want that account balance to look like. Fourth, if you're lucky enough to not have any high interest rate debt and a fully funded emergency fund, now's a great time to be taking advantage of investing into the market. So whether it's your 401k, IRA, or a taxable brokerage account, you want to be taking advantage, getting into the market while valuations are low, lock in some of those lower cost purchases. You also have the benefit of dollar cost averaging if you're investing in a taxable account. So take advantage of the fact that the stock market is essentially on sale right now, and think of it as another way to combat inflation. Remember, investing for the long term is one of the best things that you can do to fight inflation. Allowing that money to grow rapidly in the market on average over time will help avoid the value of your money eroding if it's sitting in cash. My fifth and final piece of advice is to really try to avoid any large financial commitments right now. So if you're thinking about moving, so from a housing perspective, if you're thinking about signing a lease for a bigger apartment, or if you were looking into trading in your vehicle for something newer, even if it's just committing to a large vacation next summer that perhaps would be non-refundable, now is probably not the time that you want to increase your monthly costs or commit to something that is going to have a monthly payment associated with it moving forward. You always have those options as time goes on. But again, if you are concerned about a recession and you want to really insulate yourself from it financially, you may want to think twice before making any large financial commitments today that's going to make things tougher for you moving forward. So to recap, you want to get your spending in check, reevaluate where you can cut back on expenses. You want to get rid of any high interest rate debt. You want to recalculate and boost your emergency fund savings. Any money you have left over can be put in the market. It's a great place for you to be putting cash right now. And you want to avoid any large financial commitments. I hope that you found this helpful. These 5 tips will certainly help you feel better prepared to weather any financial storm that may be coming our way. Thanks again for joining.